the legal elected president by the majority of the Ugandan people. Allow me to welcome our president, our friend, our brother, His Excellency, Robert Setam Chagulanyi.
Thank you. Nze mbasaba tuwe mu gwange tonaye nga tulowooza ng'abakulu twewale n'okuyiga obuyisa bw'abo abafuzi abajjudde omululu tuteme n'empende ezikuza eggwanga eppya lino erijjudde amabago saba mwejjukize emitima mwe Uganda ne Uganda kiddemu kyogere nti ffe Uganda Mama muno akuliranye nti ffe Uganda kiddemu kimugambe ffe Uganda We are the country, we are the future, we are the children badly need. We are the youngest population in the world, we stand a chance. We are the leaders of the future and the future is today. We are the leaders of the future and the future is today. We are the leaders of the future and the future is today. If we only come together, we can change our destiny. Thank you. People power! People power! Our power! People power! Our power! Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please take your seats. Thank you. What a pleasure. What a pleasure to be with you, brothers and sisters. God is good and all the time. Our Muslim brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm very glad. I hope I'll be able to speak in English all through. I know we come from different ethnicities, different backgrounds, we speak different languages. But because it's called so every once in a while, every now and then when I go vernacular, please bear with me. But I'm very glad to be with you today, dear our community leader, Kojawa and Seru Nkoma, Seru Sanyu Senyo Kulaba, Father Patrick, Seru Sanyu Senyo Kulaba, our diaspora overall leader, Dr. Kauma, my sister Helen, our brothers and sisters, the leaders of the chapters, different chapters, our fellow Ugandans, and the friends of Uganda. I'm very, very honored to be addressing you today. When I came to America, I did not come to meet Ugandans. No. I was invited for a conference called the State of the Black World Conference in Washington. And I was going to address leaders, Pan-African leaders from all over the world. But I grabbed this opportunity to ensure that I interact with fellow Ugandans and friends of Uganda from different chapters. I've been in the US for 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks. We interacted with Ugandans in Washington. We interacted with Ugandans in Boston, Ugandans in New York yesterday, and here we are. Tomorrow we are going to Minnesota before I go back home. I saw it important to meet you, brothers and sisters, because you are important. As a matter of fact, I think you're much more important than you even recognize. You are the cream of Ugandans. Each Ugandan I see in the diaspora, and particularly here in America, I see you represent more than 1,000 Ugandans. Practically, financially, but most importantly, ideologically. You guys support so many Ugandans. You support Ugandans in your different families. But most importantly, you are the guys that supported our campaign. We never lacked anything. We never lacked food. We never lacked fuel. We carried out a superb campaign, and I'm glad to once again report to you that we won the election. So I'm not addressing you. The last time I was here, it was a concert. Did I ever perform here?
No, 2019.
Yeah. The last time I was in the US, I'd come to perform, to make money as an artist. I'm here to address you as the president of Uganda. Nobody contends that, not even General 7. But again, I'm addressing you as your servant. Because for us, we believe in servant leadership. It is very important that we interact with Ugandans, not only those that are in the country, but you that are not in the country. Like my sister said, many of you, majority of you, are not here because you want, but because this is a country that provides what your minds deserve. I always say that we are first world citizens stuck in a third world country. It's not a third world country because it's poor. No, Uganda is not poor. Uganda is rich. Africa is rich, but Ugandans are poor. That and more is caused because of the leadership failure that is back home. So I find it important to connect with you, ladies and gentlemen, so we get to discuss our country, the past, the present, and the future. Most importantly, the future. All of you here, many of you are young, but there's going to come a time when you're 50, 60, 70. What kind of country are you going to go back to? Or even before you go back, what about the people that stayed home? So these and more are some of the things that I wanted us to discuss. I'm privileged to be talking to you because we cannot do this home. We cannot do this in our country. I was elected by millions of people to represent them, but I cannot be allowed to talk to the people of Uganda. No, I cannot. There are even laws that prohibit us from meeting to discuss the future of our country. You can meet 1,000 people, 10,000 people, 100,000 people if you're meeting to get drunk and party the night away. But if you're meeting to discuss the future of Uganda, you are breaking the law. You are not allowed to meet 5 people unless the Inspector General of Police gives you permission. That is where we are. So I find it very, very useful to meet you. I know that I'm speaking to you, but I'm speaking to thousands, tens of thousands, or perhaps millions that are watching us online. This is the only opportunity that I get to send out this message and to interact with fellow Ugandans, because we cannot meet at home. The last time our members of parliament tried to meet people, you saw what happened. My brother Nyanzi is now crippled because he tried to lawfully meet our members. Honorable Susan Mugabe is in hospital. She was thumped by male soldiers and police officers. What is her crime? Meeting people that she represents in parliament. Just the other day, other female members of parliament, like I'm sure you've been watching, were humiliated on the streets because they dared to peacefully, non-violently and unarmed express their dissatisfaction with the impunity that's going on home. So that is where we are, my brothers and sisters. Why do I need you? It's important that you don't just see me on social media or hear us from afar. Like I said the last time, many of you saw me physically. I was an artist. We were dancing the night away. I was making some money. I like to make money. I like to party. So, what makes me cut off my hair and put on these suits and come to talk to you in a formal way? I come to explain to you, brothers and sisters, that we are not in these things because we like them. We are trying to save our country. We are trying to change fortunes back home. These things that we are doing, my father should have done them. But because he did not, I am condemned to do them. And if I don't do this, I'll be condemning my children, my sons and daughters to do it. What are we about? We started out as the People Power movement. People Power is about restoring power to the people of Uganda. It's about making the people of Uganda, enabled to hold leaders accountable, like it is here in America. We've been taught time and again that leaders don't do the right thing because they're very good people. No. Biden does not do the right thing because he's a very good man. No. But because you don't bring nonsense to Americans, they have rights. And they hold you accountable. And they can kick you the hell out because they are the ones who put you in that power. So we are trying to empower Ugandans through the vote because it is provided by the law. Uganda has gone through so much, brothers and sisters. Through so much. Once upon a time, we were ruled by foreigners, by the British. The whites that came, took over our country for more than 60 years. Robbed our country, humiliated our people. So our grandfathers rose up. They said independence now. They pressured, they agitated, they mobilized, they organized, and we got independence. And like I was telling brothers and sisters in New York, that was the new day that had come. Our parents jubilated because their own sons and daughters had taken over. They knew that their country was rich, and they expected the wealth of their country to benefit them. A new day had come, although the celebrations did not last. As you know, we lost that. 1966, that is when the violence began. That is when the fighting began. That is when the human suffering started. It went on and on. We descended into dictatorship. One leader coming in forcefully and being kicked out forcefully. So in 1980, when there was an election and it was purportedly rigged, General Museveni mobilized our fathers, our mothers, our aunties, promising them fundamental change, telling them that if they get together, it is going to change once and for all. There's going to be an end to rigging elections. There's going to be an end to human rights violations. There's going to be an end to state-sanctioned enforced disappearances, etc., etc. They joined him. They paid a great sacrifice. 500,000 of our people, your people, were killed. So when General Museveni took over in 1986, we celebrated again. We sang, broke into song and dance. He stood on the footsteps of our parliament. And as he was swearing in, he said that the problem of Africa in general and Uganda in particular are the leaders who overstay in power. That was 37 years ago. The same guy is still there. There's no one, anybody to remind him of what he said. He has kept himself in power using the gun, killing anybody or imprisoning anybody that threatens his power. So we rose and we thought the people of Uganda once again have to turn things around. Only this time we didn't intend to turn things around violently. At least not us. We went to elections and all of you saw what happened. Many of you are not in Uganda today, and I can even see some faces here because of the injustice that is going down home, because of the hostility that is home. So we are here because we want to change things. We are in Uganda, but we cannot do this alone. I'm talking to you because you are the cream of our fellow Ugandans. Historically, the diaspora has a very powerful role. Yes, we got independence, but in many ways, dictators like Idi Amin, like Mobutu, and like Museveni are empowered by the Western countries, and more particularly, the United States. So you have a role to play because you are near them. You have a role to play because you have the kind of freedom that we do not have. Back home, you have to be mad like me to speak out. Some people back home even fear to take a picture with me. Even some of my relatives. That is, yeah, it would be funny if it was not sad. That is where we are, brothers and sisters. So I come to share with you these things, to preach to you. For bakiriza mu Yesu, Mukama waffe Yesu yalagira nti mugende mubuulire enjiri mawanga gonna. Oyo anakkiriza yalikola ki? Yaliwona. Ate oyo atalikiriza gumaze omusinga. Kanange njagala nzije mbibagambe mbere mu musango gwejjeeko, so that it's upon you. I don't enjoy doing this, brothers and sisters. I prefer singing. I am better at singing than talking. But somebody has to do this. So that is why we are here today. What do we believe in? Our values are discipline, reliability, integrity, inclusiveness, and service. We are a group of people that believe that Uganda should belong to Ugandans, that we should transform our education system and stop producing job seekers and we produce job makers. And we also even change the narrative so that even a person that studied MDD like me is respected. You get my point? We want to transform our healthcare system, friends. Every day, 18 of our women die giving birth. Every day, every day. They died yesterday, they are dying today, or they have already died, they are going to die tomorrow. That is how it has been, that is how it is, and that is how it's going to be until we change it. Every day, 300 children die in Uganda. 300 children under the age of 5. They die of avoidable causes. Now this is Ministry of Health data. I believe there are much more. Whatever acquired those numbers, they probably are more. We want to change that. Every day we are destroying the Pearl of Africa, destroying our environment, destroying our swamps, destroying our lakes, destroying our rivers. We are destroying a generation. So we are here to inform you of our mission. We are trying to transform that. I could go on and on and on about what we want to do, but that's just hypothetical thinking. All those are just ideas in our heads. That is not how it is. We want to change our healthcare system. That is not how it is. What is the state of affairs back home? It's deplorable. It is sad. It is sickening. Ebintu ebigenda maaso waka baganda bange. Ebitono ennyo ebikimakinga to social media nabyo bikabya nkakasa mubiraba baganda bange. Mubiraba, you see the impunity. We have laws but they don't work. Well, they work on some people but not all people. The problem with family rule is that the ruling family is above the law and the law is subjective to them. You have seen, according to our law, a serving military officer is forbidden from engaging in partisan politics. You have seen General Museveni's son moving around campaigning in our military uniform, using our resources as a nation, celebrating his birthdays on public money. At the same time, General Museveni is silent about that. You have seen Mulago and the money they need. The money that Museveni uses in 5 days can revamp Mulago. He uses 2 billion shillings. 2 billion shillings every day. It sounds like a joke, but it's true. 2 billion shillings, million yenkumi bili Museveni is akozesabuli lunaku. Okay? That's his daily budget. Mulago is suffering because he does not have 10 billion. So if Museveni sleeps for 5 days, Mulago would be better. But that's not the case. That is how it is in Uganda, friends. Okay? You've seen the corruption. It is sickening in every sector. In every sector. There's a scandal every day, and these are the scandals that make it to the papers. You're talking about iron sheets. But did you see what happened in NSSF? I have members of parliament in parliament, and all of you saw that we were all appalled when each member of parliament was given 40 million. That's about 20 billion. Now that money alone that was used to bribe members of parliament is enough to build a Chirudu hospital. So in brief, a hospital was eaten by members of parliament as a bribe. Now that is not the story. Where is the story? They were given that as a bribe so that the regime steals 317 billion as a Chirudu maker using local construction. There's a scandal every day. Every day. You saw about Muboa. You saw about the coffee and Pineti. It goes on and on and on. Banange bino byemba gamba bya ddala. Bano basajja beewola ssente bazeewola mu linnya lyo. Goyinza okulowooza oli seefu oli Amerika bazeewola mu linnya lya maamawo, erinnya ly'omwanawo, erinnya ly'omuzukulu ate nga gw'ogenda ozisasula. According to the projection, for us to pay off that debt, it's going to take us 95 years. And they're still borrowing. And they invest it in these countries. That is where we are as a country. Okay? You have seen the exhibitions that are ongoing. The good thing about we Ugandans were so humorous. And I believe if we did not have so much humor, we would die of depression. You saw the porthole exhibition. Boita Mukampala. There's a joke that according to Paulo, we drive on the left. But we don't drive on the left, we drive on what is left. Like I said, it would be so funny if it wasn't sad. That is where we are. The infrastructure is rotten. The hospitals, the schools. We could go on and on and on. Talking about it is a crime. You have seen gross human rights violations where people that dare to speak out for the love of their country are abducted and killed. Who is the head of abductions? Museveni's son, Muhoozi. Nchidamu, abantu bafe babawamba ne babalaawa. Gwomanyo kwata mutabani wo oba muganda wo oba neighbor wo ne bamulaawa ng'ente byenjogerako bya ddala. Ne bamulaawa, they castrate them to make sure they cause as much fear as possible in the population. To communicate to you, you cannot talk about this. Uganda has owners. They come pick up ladies, they arrest them or abduct them and rape them. You've all seen our sister Marinos, who was picked up and raped. Sometimes they rape them on camera. Bino byembagamba bituufu. I live in Uganda. And if I'm lying, I challenge them to prosecute me. You saw when they picked one of our friends called Mwesigwa Eric. And they burnt him with a flat iron. Unfortunately, sometimes oppressed people are so oppressed that they see no option. After being humiliated, nebamugamba gwe katolaba tolina kyosobola kukola naye katukuweeyo $2 million wano okyuse ebigambo byo. And you've seen them. And this idiotic man called Kulaige Felix, the spokesperson of our military, he comes out and says, Bobi Wine is the one that abducted this young man and tortured him. Idiot. I challenged the Kulaige. Why don't you arrest me? I live in Magere. I work in Kamoch and Kavuli. Why don't you arrest me? They can't. Just like they arrested me, tortured me in Arua, and paraded 2 machine guns. They said we found those guns in Bobi Wine's room. Somehow the guns melted. Up to now I'm asking for my guns. They don't give me my guns because they were not there. So that is where we are as a country. But I don't want to depress you, friends. You know, back in the day, every time I met you, we were dancing and singing and jumping. So I don't want to depress you. But it's important to tell you the reality back home so that you don't get lost in America. You are not Americans. You will come back to Uganda. But what kind of Uganda are you going to come back to? I come here to preach a solution. What is the solution? You are the solution. We are the solution. Nobody is coming to save us. Nobody, not Americans, not the British, not the international community. No. In fact, many of them are complicit to this. You are the solution. And guess what? That solution is much more powerful than you think, brothers and sisters. You have a role. You members in the diaspora, you have a role, and we'll get to discuss this role in the times that are coming. But nobody is going to come to save you. We have to save ourselves. I had intended not to be the one speaking to you because I've said these things over and over again. I've sung them in songs. I've said them, many people say them even more eloquently than I do. Dr. Lesije has spoken about this. The late Dr. Semogiri has spoken about this. All my colleagues have spoken about this. I've spoken about this. So this, I wanted it to be an interaction. To share, to pick those from you, and to also get questions from you. So we can share. But most importantly, I want by the time we leave there to stir a spirit of patriotism, a spirit of ownership of our country. That is the most important thing that we can do to each other. So that every time you go to bed, having come from your work, you ask yourself a question: what have I done to advance the struggle for a better Uganda? It is not about me, guys. No, it's not. The way we live, every time I get to speak to people, I do as if it's the last time. Because I can't guarantee I'm going to see you again. That crazy dictator could throw me to a jail like he did to Sejirinya and others for years. He can even murder me. That's why I'm trying on every opportunity to cause as much damage to the dictatorship as possible. To try and shake its pillars as much as possible. And if you join in that, we can save our country. Not only in our lifetime, but when we still have energy and time to enjoy that. So, before I ask you, comrades, to share your thoughts, and maybe to pose some questions, I want to leave just 2 important messages. First, to you, the Ugandans, because this is our duty. And I also see some people that seem like they're not Ugandans. But now that they're here, we know they're friends of Uganda and they care about us. And they also have a role. To you, brothers and sisters, the Ugandans, our brother Dr. Kauma said it. The most important thing to do is to mobilize ourselves, organize ourselves, and agitate. My friends, your voice matters. Every time you unite and talk about an issue, and not only unite but show up. There's a song that we did. If you don't show up, nobody will see you. If you don't speak up, nobody will hear you. If you don't show up, nobody will see you. And if you don't speak up, nobody will hear you. Please show up. show up on those protests. Protest. Don't let us suffer in the dark. I am alive here speaking to you because you guys saved my life. You did. In Arua, I was supposed to be dead. I would be dead, man. But when you guys turned out, I didn't even know you. We were not organized. But you felt for me. When I came out of that military prison, Bobi showed me on social media, said, wow, you protested, and here I am. And when you saved my life, I made a pledge to myself that I'll do everything with this remaining life that you saved, because I owe it to you to also save the rest. Because not so many people are as popular as I am. Me have a semblance of safety because the media is focusing on me. But how about those in Kaperabyong? Do you know how many Karamajong are being killed every day because of their minerals? So, I am doing this because I owe it. I owe it to you. I owe it to the future generations. I owe it to those that don't have voices. Please show up. Protest. It works. If you doubt it, remember Museveni, when he wanted to show an image of support, he even got our children from school to demonstrate against the international community when they stopped the ECOP pipeline. So now you know protests work. If you doubt the effectiveness of protests, look at me, I'm alive because of your protests. So please protest. Show that this is not about Kyagulanyi. But Okwogera bino baga, oyo Kyagulanyi naawe. Oyo Kyagulanyi naawe ayagala just kuba president. No. Siri yala nga Museveni yali yala nnyo. But it's about all of us. It's not me alone, it's all of us. Let us unite as Ugandans. As a matter of fact, it's not even about the political party I lead. Many of you know we started NUP as an electoral platform. But we are people power. And if you're a person, if you're a human being, then it's incumbent upon you, my brother, my sister. Now, kubeeramu, kubanga okikola kululwo, okikola ne kulwabo abali ewaka. Kitukakatako. So tukunganenga, tukole kye tulina okukola. Mbasaba temulekerawo, temutya kwekalakaasa, mukikole. Don't be intimidated by the regime home. Jamna ibaona kulaba wekalakasa peja koma Uganda zemberawo. Hey, nchazira Uganda. Katubere banji. Ati babatisa. And these people are not as sophisticated as you think. Katika mbabuli na police sometimes batukwata na yulu malufu sulenga bwana. Bosi wa jananyika. Bosi wa bayo. So all people are oppressed, even those that jail us. So fellow Ugandans, please agitate, speak for yourselves. Use your body and your voice. At least yourself. Nobody is going to arrest you for protesting peacefully here. What do I get to pass? So do it for the people back home. Secondly, friends, I want to encourage you to unite. I want to encourage you to unite. We've had many of our people. I see my sister here, Emily. Hi, Emily. And many of you. Let us come together. Let us come together. What unites us is much more powerful than what divides us. Here in America, does your tribe matter? No. Does your religion matter? No. Does your gender matter? No. So, tubasaba baganda bangu, come together. Come together. Don't be divided by petty things. You were taught, and I like my sister was always quoting the great Dr. Martin Luther King. He said, we either unite and live together as brothers and sisters, or we perish together as fools. So let us choose one. I think it's much easier and more beneficial to unite as brothers and sisters. Finally, be informed. keep on tabs with what's happening back home, and then inform others. Social media is very important. Use it. Tweet and retweet. Post and share all information. Munali say, for slavery to end, it had to be exposed. For colonialism to end, it had to be exposed. For dictatorship to end, it has to be exposed, and all those that support it. Expose it, including the injustices that are being covered up by the international community. I'll end by informing you that the United States supports General Museveni to a tune of $1 billion US. My sister, that's your taxpayers' money. You are paying for our oppression, whether you know or you don't know. That is American taxpayers' money. Your money. Okay? This is a democracy, the biggest democracy in the world. It should not be seen to support dictatorship. But like I said, leaders don't do good things because they are good. They do the right thing because they are pressured. Please pressure this government. Pressure the US government through your elected members in Congress. They can change the policies of relating with Uganda. We've always called and we continue to call upon the US government and the European Union and all development partners to make respect for democracy, respect for the rule of law, and respect for human rights preconditions for cooperation with Uganda. If the US puts its foot down and says we're not going to sponsor that unless it's a free and fair election, Museveni will be no more. I can beat Museveni in an election, even in his house. I dare him. The reason why they stop me from even going to church is because they know people don't support them. The people of Uganda are smart. They are aware, but they are enslaved. You get what I mean, my brothers and sisters? It can change, but it won't change just like that. It will change if you agitate and make the international community ashamed of being complicit with dictatorship in Uganda. And to you, our brothers and sisters in America, please be our friends. Project our voices. I could go on and on and on and on, but because I wanted to make this interactive, I'm sorry I took so long talking to you, but every time I'm speaking to you, I want to speak on my behalf and on behalf of all those our brothers and sisters, the hundreds or even thousands of people that are in prison for no reason. On my t-shirt, there's a young lady called Olivia Rutaya. She had 2 babies. She was abducted and later arraigned in a military court, and now she's in prison for more than 2 years. Her crime is supporting me when I stood for president. We have a brother called Machete Yassini, who was abducted, tortured greatly, and thrown into a prison. His crime, being part of my campaign team. We have a brother here called Kalanzi. Kalanzi was abducted, he was stripped naked before his children, beaten so bad. Beaten so bad. When you see him, when he removes the shirt and you see the scars on his back, it will remind you of the 17th century slaves. He's in prison for no reason. So, I speak not only on my behalf, but on behalf of all these people that cannot speak to you, and even if they were able to speak to you, they cannot speak the English that I'm speaking. Now, I'm representing them. Thank you for listening to me, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll be happy to take some of your questions and the